Hi folks, it's me again. Well, as you know, I'm having trouble loading that last video up I made. It's been about an hour, and it says it's going to take another half an hour. So you know they're playing with it because it's only a 19-minute video. It shouldn't take no time but a few minutes. But this is the important video I want to talk about. When I got to Gary Larrabee's, I made the video about the terror bus. Now, Mr. Larrabee bought me a ticket. He spent $250 for that ticket, and I didn't want to come because I felt that was extremely too much to pay for a ticket. But I assumed that since he paid that much for a ticket, that I would be going straight there. That I would be going at least no more than 1 or 2 stops, and I would head from Chicago to Spokane, Washington. But when I went and picked up the ticket at the bus station on 95th in Chicago, it had on there that it would make 14 stops. 14 stops. There would be 6 bus transfers and 14 stops. Now that's ridiculous for $250 one way. But since Mr. Larrabee and Miss Sharon wanted me to come, I say, well, they said I'll be all right. I'll get there. But the bus did not make the 14 stops that were on the itinerary. It made almost 40 or 45 stops total. We were making stops it seemed like every half an hour or such. Now, the thing is, on that advertisement on Greyhound site, it says Wi-Fi available. It says all their buses have Wi-Fi. So, on the 6 buses, I don't think not one of them had Wi-Fi. I don't think so. Now, any of the 6 buses had Wi-Fi. Not only that, the train stations, the bus depots did not have Wi-Fi. Now, that's strange. Because I want to do some videoing and then upload it on YouTube while I was on this trip. But as you notice, you didn't hear a peep out of me. That's because Greyhound and the other bus line that they were working with, Jeffrey Lines, didn't have any Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi at the stations and no Wi-Fi on any of the buses. Now, when I first got on the bus, they said that there was a problem with the Greyhound Wi-Fi. And then when I got on Jeffrey Lines, they were bragging at first about, this is the new top of the line 2016 bus. We just built this line. And then when we got to rolling and I asked him what's the Wi-Fi password, he said he doesn't think the Wi-Fi is working on this one. So on the next one that I got on was another Jeffrey Lines, and he said, oh, well, the Wi-Fi is not working on this one either. Really? So there's 3 buses I didn't get on, there's no Wi-Fi. There's 3 stations I didn't be in, there's no Wi-Fi. But all the time, those buses were loaded with my harassers, my gang stalkers. Now this is what they do, as they do on buses here in Riverdale and in Chicago. I get the same bus drivers over and over again usually, and they seem to be packed with the people. Now, as I said, I get the same bus drivers usually, and they're rude. They don't let the bus down to, when I have my cart, to let my cart on. They jerk to make me fall. They're just extremely rude. And a lot of times they'll pass me up, or a lot of times they just won't pick me up at all. They just never show. The buses, I can wait for 2 arrivals. No, because they say they only come every hour, and I know that's not true. But they say they only come every hour, and I waited an hour, the bus didn't show up, and then I waited for the next one, and that one didn't show up. And then if I call, they'll say, the bus just dropped off the radar. They don't know what happened to it. But the buses not that one bus, because I've been waiting for 2 or 3 buses, and those buses just drop off the radar. They don't know where they are. But let me get back to Greyhound. So the buses are full of the people. There's no way I can get Wi-Fi. They're putting these energy weapons on me. I can feel the torture. But the amazing thing was not that. The amazing thing was, like I said, all of those stops. I would wake up. I would take a nap and wake up, and we'd be stopped. I want you to pay attention to this traffic coming back and forth in front of my house while I'm making this video. And the people. We made a lot of stops, almost 45 stops. Now, what really made me notice was, as I tell you, my targeters drive these silver, red, black, and white cars. And I know it's a lot of black ones, you call them men in black, where they drive these silver, most of the time silver, black, red, and white cars. Now, I noticed that in a lot of these towns that I was seeing the color cars. So I was saying, well, they're on the bus and they're probably following me. So I woke up one time and we were at a stop, and it wasn't a regular bus depot. We were at a liquor store. So I'm saying, well, what is the bus driver making a stop for at the liquor store? And I noticed the red, black, and white cars. But then I said, well, they're following me. And then I saw we were in Martin. I think it was Martin. I'll have to look that information up because I have a video of that. We were in Martin, Martin, somewhere in a rural area. And I noticed as we were driving through the area to get back to the expressway, because we were all a long way off the beaten path from the expressway. So it took a while to get back to the expressway. But all the time we were driving through that town, I noticed that in the driveways and in the streets, all the cars were black, white, and red. Now that was kind of crazy. That in this farming community, that all the cars were black, white, and red. The ones in the fields, and this is, they got grass and cornfields. You know, this is a farming area. And then I realized that it had hit me a long time ago, like I was saying here. Before I left here, I come to the realization that my cousin had moved me into an area that was already set up as a Satanic community. Because all my neighbors seem to be involved in this. All of them seem to be involved in this targeting, and all of them were the same color. See the red, blue? See the colors these kids got on? It's like they have to make a fashion statement. All of my people in my neighborhood are into this red, black, white, just like I said. Now, the kids, the adults, it's like they have a fashion code, but that is part of the Satanic and Illuminati thing. And the purple, but I don't see much purple, but all the other colors I see. Now, I was saying, well, I had just made a video that I think I was set up in a community that was already set up for as a sacrifice. That I might be a sacrifice. That I was sent here. My cousin set me up in the community that was already set up as me being a sacrifice. That all of my neighbors were in on it. Just like my police officers, my water department. Like I tell you, my water is being poisoned by my water department. They're here just about every day. The garbage truck sweeps. Let me see, do I see anything out there today? Well, he swept the street today. But my garbage, my street sweeper sweeps the street 4 and 5 times a day. Every day. The whole community seemed to be involved in my targeting. So the more I was looking at the witchcraft stuff that was going on about, like the fingerprints on my door and whatever's coming in my house. You see the 3-handed fingerprints? Whatever this is, that little person is. He only has 3 fingers and a thumb on each one. There's 3 fingers and a thumb. But as I told you about the insects and all the other, but the way my face folded up and the chanting and then the burns on my legs. So I knew it was satanic. And the more I kept reading my Bible, but when you don't really believe in satanic stuff. But the Bible mentions that witches and satanic and that all the time. And the more I kept realizing that I was in a community that was set up for a satanic when I realized that these things were feeding on me. The little kids and the people upstairs that sometimes when they touched me, they were feeding off of me. So then I realized that these little areas that this bus was taking me to were all kind of satanic little spots. They were also rural communities that were set up for this satanic stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you how God is. God is really, really good. Right before I took this trip, God had put it in my spirit, and things had came up on the internet about people missing while traveling. So I had been looking at videos of people that went into the bus stations, and one was this young white guy. He went into the bus station. His family was looking for him. He went into the bus station, and then later on, the video shows him running out of the bus station, leaving all his bags, and he was never heard from again. There was also this video about this older white guy, who was traveling, and he went into his hotel room, one of them hotels, and I'm not sure, but I think it was a Super 8. I'm not sure though. So, but he went into the hotel and he came back out and it looked like he was in a trance. When he came back out, he disappeared. Now, with me watching these videos of disappearances, and there was no explanation from them. People had never heard from families had never heard from their family members again. And then I'm on this bus and there's no Wi-Fi, and I have no phone because when I tried to make phone calls, all the phone stations, all the phones were mysteriously out of order. I could not even make a telephone call because my phone wasn't working. But the service was shut down on all the phones. One phone took $2 from me, and then nobody knew how I could get my money back because they said they didn't know. Well, anyway, but all the phones seemed to be out of service, the pay phones. So this was the perfect setup of what I saw how people were disappearing. There were no, if you got on, went to Greyhound and one of these other bus services, and you got on one of the buses, and they took you to these areas, these stops that weren't scheduled, you disappeared. Or if you ran, you had a problem, and you ran, because I bet you that young guy, when he ran out of that bus station, ran directly into the arms of their neighborhood law. And I bet you he tried to tell somebody, ask the law for help, and they took him. Now, I made that video when I got to Gary's house about people beware that people are disappearing, and from these bus stations, from these hotels on the side of the road while they're traveling, from their cars, because um, you can get pulled over by the police on the side of the road, and if they're near one of these communities that's set up as one of these satanic communities, then you're out of luck. So I put it up there for people to beware. Now, while I was in Spokane, and me and Gary went through our thing, uh, the officers knew I wanted to go to a campground. So I asked them to take me to the campground, um, and I'm gonna have to find out their name, but it was bold something. It had some kind of bold on it, and I'll find that and I'll tell you exactly what the name is in the next video, because I'm going to make this video no longer than 45 minutes. If I can get through it and do the whole thing in an hour, I'll deal with it. See, the kids got the red and the black on. Again, they still have to come past my house. They're red and they black and white. Let's see. And they do some perfect street theater. These kids here, they are all the monsters. And they feed off me too. So they're raising monsters. And well, you know what God said? He got these deal with all of them. But uh, the I made the video and telling people to beware at Gary's. But me and Gary had an issue. I told him to take the videos that I made down. I really should have left that one up because that was important to keep people aware of what's going on. Now, he did erase that one, but he did not erase all the other ones. And I felt that was more important that he leave that one up. If he was going to erase anything, he should have erased all the other ones and left that one up when it comes to people traveling and disappearing. Now, um, I had did a little research, I think, about people disappearing a while back, and that the government was underreporting the disappearance of people, especially black people. Um, there are millions, over 4 million people disappearing each year, and the government is not coming forth with information about even our sister-in-law disappeared. And I bet if you guys think about it, you know somebody who's disappeared, who has just vanished. You know somebody who knows somebody who has disappeared, who's missing. And that is too much. That is too much of a coincidence. But as I said, did my thing and made the video and Gary took it down, but I wind up at the campground. Now, I was sitting on the side of the campground because I did not want to be around people. Because number one, as a target individual, you know that the less people around me and buildings where they can sit and use these energy weapons, the better it is for me, the more comfortable I am. So what I want to do, I told the driver to take me to a campground where I can go up into the hills or go into the mountains. Because I had the gear. Here's my little kids again. They have to stand in front. That's the only way that they can that they can get the signal from me is come in front of me and back and forth and stand in front of me. And they let the kids do it all the time. And then you saw, as I mentioned, when I noticed them, they went on down the road. But uh, where was I? Oh, I told the cab driver that I wanted to go to a place that was like secluded. So even if my talkers came near me, I would be able to spot them a mile away. You know, I would know if they're around me, and I would want to be in a place where there's no buildings, no where they can sit inside the buildings and point those energy weapons at me. So he took me to the ground. He said, "Well, this is out the city." That's what he told me. He said, "This is out the city. This campground." He said, "I think they charge $10 a night," and I think I had about $80. So I figured I could be at the campground at least 7 days before somebody do something. Well, I wasn't worried about somebody. I knew God would do the things necessary to make a way for me, so I wasn't really worried. I feel safe whenever I go, but I had $80, so um, I figured at $10 a night I could stay there for 7 nights until uh, something till God worked something out. But he took me to a place. So I had put all my things on the side and I was going to take them a few at a time up the hill. But then the ranger came and told me that I could not go up there, that I had to stay in the campground, that was the cheapest place. Now, the cheapest place, no, I'll tell you how they work it. They knew that I was going to come their way. So, um, they well, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna try to be a mind reader because I don't want to go there because I don't want people to say what they think I know. So, but at any rate, uh, I got there and I was gonna go up the side of the mountain, and the ranger came along. Now the rangers came immediately when I got there. Now I watch the movies all the time. How the rangers, how they take care of the park and they back and forth, but you don't see them every 5, 10, 15 minutes. But they were there. Now, I was there maybe 10 minutes at first, and I was looking for maps so I can see what the area looked like, so I can see the trails and what ways the trails to stay on and everything. And there was no map. There was a great big map that was behind the glass, so I took a picture of that. So in my travels, I don't know what direction in my hiking I can go near, so I can stay near water. I can stay near the river. And the park ranger showed up. He drove up And then he said, uh, you gonna be here? And I said, yes. He said, well, you have to go in that area over there. I said, do you have any maps of the area? He said, no. He said, but you're doing the best thing by taking pictures. Now, number one, I took the pictures when I first got there, and there was no rangers around. So how did you know I took a picture of that map? Number two, he said something like, which made me know he knew I was coming. Like, how did you get here, or something in that order? But I said, no, I know what the deal is. You know, I know this network is far-reaching. So, like I said, every 15 minutes they would sit there. They were different ones, but they would sit there, and they kept telling me that I can't stay where I was at, getting my things together to go up the mountain. That I had to go on the other side. Number one, it was cheaper. Now they have no price, and this is what a lot of companies do. They do not give you a price. So when you ask them for a price, they can tell you any price they want to tell you. Like they did at Greyhound, they charged me $40 for a shopping bag to put under the bus. But uh, now, um, I like I said, on the board it says $10. It says $10 for a vehicle with up to 8 passengers. No, it doesn't say $10 for the vehicle. What it says is, uh, the vehicle, a vehicle and 8 passengers is allowed. For extra vehicle, it's $10. Now, I'm gonna have to stop here, but I'll be back.